All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. So today I wanted to talk about a stock that I actually never mentioned on this channel because I literally have like 5 videos, but I did mention it to someone that I basically talk to, I guess, a lot in terms of like stocks and whatnot. And it's OSCR, health insurance company. I want to show you guys this screenshot so, we all believe that I called this stock before it went up like 50%. But I've been watching this stock right here. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. I'll just put it up right here. But I basically texted someone, this guy who we're family friends with. He's like 50 years older than me. And I was like, look into OSCR stock. And he's like, why? Because he only invests into like the Warren Buffett type of stocks, like Coke and like all that old, stuff that gets a good return, but it takes a while for it to get a good return. But I was looking at the stock for a while. And February 6th, so if we come right here, like $14 is when I texted him. And basically, since then, it's up 44%. Why did I think this stock would go up 44%? Or why did I think the stock would go up as a whole? If we look at from when it started in the IPO, $30, it went all the way down to $2 and slowly started going up. This is more of like an AI-centric healthcare company. If you look into the founder, which is actually how I found out about this company, this guy has really, really close ties with Sam Altman. And I would say like 90% of the apps you use on a day-to-day basis, whether that's Snapchat, he's basically invested into most companies that if you're alive today, you probably use. And I saw he had a VC company where he basically has like an insane track record. And then he also has this healthcare company that he started in 2012, which is 13 years ago. Like, this isn't something that he started 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It was 13 years ago. So I basically looked into it. I think when it was like $10 or $14, the PE ratio was like 30. Now it's like 70, which is insane. But I looked into it and I was like, with this being a company owned by this person, or started by this person, and right around February is when I was looking into it, I was like, I think this is a pretty undervalued stock. I think a stock like this with someone with a track record like this, which is what I really look at when investing into stocks, is like, who's actually running the company, right? I think that has a bigger say than most people, or I guess a bigger impact than most people think. In my personal opinion, I think if someone with a really good track record in investing into companies has a company that's geared towards AI and healthcare, which is essentially something that 99% of people, or I'd say 90% of the people in the US have, I think it's a stock that's probably going to do well over time. My personal opinion. That's my opinion. This isn't based off of like accounting, going into the company's numbers, anything of that basis. So, if I'm completely off in like my prediction and whatever it might be, then so be it. But it did go up since when I basically thought it would. So that's, I think, all that matters. I did have a small investment in this company. Do I think it's going to go up even further? Probably, honestly, probably. I think as of right now, like, it's relatively normally priced. And if we even go further back, like, it was at this price either way, but it did have that dip right here, right? So another thing to keep in mind too is like, this isn't a stock where you can buy $10 million worth of it and then liquidate it all at once. You probably could, but realistically, it's going to take some time. I think this is more of one of those stocks where you'd make good money investing 100K or 50K or even less. But I mean, it's a pretty small company still, in my opinion. So that's that for today's video. I guess the basis of this video is like, I think it was a good pick, a solid pick. I think it did well for what it was. I think it's going to continue to go up. And I don't know, it was a cool 40-50% return on investment. Yeah. Thank you for watching.